Suppose you were a police officer just going about your normal shift and you encountered something paranormal below. While anyone can have paranormal footage, how much of it is as reliable as police footage? These are some of the most notable paranormal incidents that even the police are unable to explain. Is this a real or fake and manufactured sighting of an unsettling apparition that several police officers on the night shift saw at the same time and even had recorded on their body cams? It feels authentic because it is consistent from various points of view, but it seems unlikely that a police station would stage a ghost sighting. For what kind of stunt would they jeopardize their credibility? Perhaps it's a real phenomenon, or maybe there's something mysterious going on that has left people wondering. I think this police force is quite solid. They don't appear to be going to waste time discussing anything that might have set off their alarms with TV cameras. I think something is actually paying these guys a visit. What are your thoughts, guys? A K-9 unit is scouring a property tied to the haunting Watts family murder case, where unsettling voices echo through the air, and a mysterious woman is sighted lingering in the shadows. This investigation has taken a chilling turn as it delves into the paranormal. On August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts committed the unthinkable by murdering his pregnant wife, Shannon, and their two daughters, Bella and Celeste, in Colorado. The eerie question remains, could the girl seen on these steps be one of his deceased daughters? As Christopher strangled Shannon and disposed of the bodies at a remote oil site, the lingering spirits of the victims may still haunt the area, begging for justice and closure. This Dashcam footage was captured on May 10, 2018, as a police vehicle was cruising a Chicago suburb. Sergeant Anthony Manino was put in a tight spot when he saw the footage of him maneuvering his car between a toddler who was 2 years old and the swiftly approaching oncoming traffic. The toddler was darting between lanes with heavy traffic, getting dangerously close to large trucks and fast cars before the sergeant arrived. At first, Sergeant Menino believed it to be a stray dog, but when he saw that the child was in danger near Route 59 traffic, he acted quickly and riskily to save the child. Videos like these always raise an important and unsettling question. Where are the child's parents? Fortunately, in this case, the boy's mother arrived a short while later, understandably alarmed by the situation. Later investigations revealed that the family lived just 2 blocks away from where Manino found the child. The boy had managed to elude his mother's watchful eye in the blink of an eye, so it was impossible to predict the dangers. The police's response to a report about 2 clowns chasing and upsetting people in Menasha, Wisconsin, in the early hours of October 7, 2016, is captured on camera. This incident happened during a wave of spooky clown encounters that were occurring in various parts of the world, where some clowns even went so far as to scare innocent people with various weapons. The law enforcement officer asked the clowns to show their hands to make sure they weren't hiding any weapons, and the clown duo slowly extended their hands to the sides while remaining motionless, staring at the officer. There was a more sinister side to the story. Surprisingly, a 26-year-old lady who was one of the clown's wives was chauffeuring the 2 clowns, even if this clip would seem innocuous in comparison to other of the more upsetting clown occurrences that were reported during the same month. The couple's 4-year-old child was left unsupervised at home for several hours while they played this bizarre prank, and as a result, both parents faced legal repercussions and charges of child neglect. The child's mother was placed under custody at Wisconsin's Bago County Jail as a precautionary measure because of her probationary status, and the other clown was given a warning. A reckless driver was traveling the wrong way on the highway, and the Wyoming police received multiple calls about it early on July 27, 2018. Officers Rob Meredith and Christ DeBauer had to use their patrol car as a makeshift barrier to stop the driver, and their dashcam captured the dramatic moment. The tension was palpable, and their urgent radio transmission was filled with instructions to take as many precautions as possible and watch their own safety as they positioned their vehicle and the wrong way the driver's headlights were rapidly approaching. The vehicle traveling the incorrect way made no evident attempt to slow down or swerve in order to prevent a head-on collision in a split second, which further raised concerns. The driver who was driving the wrong way eventually pulled over and was taken to the hospital for treatment of his injuries. It turned out that the driver, a 60-year-old man, was facing charges for his third offense of driving under the influence. Officer Christ Bauer saved both of the involved vehicles and probably avoided a fatal outcome by steering their cruiser into oncoming traffic. Given the gravity of the circumstances, their escape from the catastrophe with only minor injuries was fortunate. An officer from the Louisville Metro Police Department pulled over a Honda Accord in August 2012 due to expired license plates. During the interaction, the officer noticed that the three people inside the car seemed nervous and anxious. Suddenly, there were sounds of kicking and yelling coming from the car's trunk. This prompted the officer to call for backup and detain the three suspects with caution. All of the officers present opened the trunk and discovered a man who was the owner of the car. He had just finished a late shift at a Circle K gas station 7 meters away. The three suspects ambushed him after he closed the store and went to his car. They not only stole his automobile, but also tied him up and placed him in the trunk of his own vehicle. Before taking off, the three perpetrators of this event were apprehended and identified as Tret Bly, Joseph Davis, and Brittany Elder. All three are in their late 20s, and it is unknown what their plans would have been for the victim if not for the expired license plates. Even though the victim had a difficult experience and mild dehydration from the heat in the trunk, the traffic stop might not have occurred, leaving them open to the intentions of these people. Nevertheless, the victim made it out of the situation without suffering any serious injuries. Two officers were traveling to a reported structure fire when they were caught in a violent incident captured on dashcam footage. Suddenly, the mudslide overtook their patrol car, causing all four wheels to lose traction and the vehicle to spin uncontrollably as the mudslide current ported along. Their options were limited to warning pedestrians of the danger and observing the mudslide causing chaos in the city. The officers sent urgent messages over the radio, urging people to evacuate, emphasizing the need for immediate evacuation to prevent a potential disaster. The mudslide was rapidly progressing, and the officers shared crucial information about it. It was a dangerous situation, and escape seemed unlikely through luck or maybe a miracle. The officers regained control of their vehicle and moved it ahead of the mudslide. The officers' desperate attempts to safeguard their neighborhood in the face of an unpredictably occurring natural disaster were captured on dashcam footage. In Florida, on November 19, 2017, just 2 minutes after they arrived at the scene of a traffic stop on North Kepi Road, two police cruisers, each equipped with a dashcam, saw a small plane hovering in the air. It soon became apparent that the plane was descending and heading directly towards them. Its right wing clipped a tree as it did so, causing the aircraft to spin out and force it to the side of the road. Minutes earlier, a four-seater plane had taken off from a nearby airport, carrying 61-year-old Mark Allen Benedict and one other passenger. When their engines began to fail, Mark informed the airport and went on to explain that he didn't think he would be able to return and that he had no other choice but to crash land on the road, which just so happened to have police present despite the horrific nature of the crash. Mark and the other passengers on board were able to escape the wreckage with only minor injuries, and no one on the ground was hurt. This video was shot on February 18, 2022, in Shawnee, Wisconsin. Officer Jeff Buettner's police cruiser has a dash cam that records everything that happens. Jeff was patrolling the highway when all of a sudden, a pileup of cars appeared. Like everyone else, however, the icy conditions prevented Jeff from slowing down in time, so he crashed before he could escape. Jeff was now trapped inside his car, but he was still, for the most part, unheard when a few other crash victims approached him to inquire about his condition. It would take Jeff 6 minutes to get out of there, and once he did, he started assisting other trapped drivers. 10 persons were hurt as a result of the pileup involving 39 vehicles. When police, firefighters, and utility workers responded to the numerous calls from a neighborhood in New Jersey on the morning of February 24, 2015, they suspected a gas leak and worked quickly to determine its source. Meanwhile, 75 different homes in the surrounding areas were evacuated, and an explosion was captured on the dashcam of one of the responding police cruisers. Although the house was under renovation at the time, and therefore empty of people, the explosion sent debris from it flying out in all directions throughout the neighborhood. Despite this, 15 people would still be injured from the blast, the majority of whom were firefighters and utility workers, some of whom were critically injured and required airlifting to nearby emergency rooms. Though it's still unknown how the 2-inch gas pipe broke in the first place or what set off the explosion, it's thought to have triggered the explosion.